Welcome to the next part of this chapter, Chapter 1 Nutrition in Plants of Class 7 as per the Ncert book. Okay, so now as we have already done few parts like autotrophs and heterotrophs, mode of nutrition in plants. So we have done the living organism and non-living organism also, the difference between them. So now what we are going to start is about the cell. Now what is cell? When I'm saying that all living organisms, like it's written here, all living organisms are made up of tiny structures called cells. It is in the same way as we know that whenever any building is made, the smallest unit of that building is a brick, isn't it? So when we have to make a building, what you will do? You will add brick on brick on brick, isn't it? And you will add some concrete, of course, or some material to join them together. But you know the basic unit of any building will be brick. Okay? In the same way, when we are saying that living organisms, you know it is a big term, living organisms. It is having all the plant and all the animals which are coming in it and so many microorganisms also. Okay, so everything which is whatever is living, these are also made up of some basic unit. Okay, these are also made up of some basic unit. Now what is that basic unit? That basic unit is called cell. Clear? So now we are going to study a little bit in detail about cells. What are the cells and how you are going to study about them. For example, if I am saying a cell which is making body of animal, okay, so the cell which is the basic unit of animal's body, we call them animal cell. In the same way, if a cell is making a plant, okay, so we will say these are the cells which are found in plant. Now, what is the difference between animal cell and plant cell? As you know, we have already done that few things which are present spatially in plant are chloroplasts. Okay, so that means in the plant cell we can see something like green pigment and we call them chloroplast. So you can see the structure of cell. In animal cell, it is a simple cell you can see, and this is the basic structure given here. Okay, not so many things are shown here, but just the basic structure. Now you can see there is a cell which is having a membrane. Why membrane? So that anything which is going out of the cell and coming inside the cell can be controlled. Okay, it can be controlled through the membrane. For example, in your house, you know, in your home, you are having doors, isn't it? Doors or windows, so that air can come or some people can come, they can knock or they can they can they can just put the bell on, and what will happen then? You will go and then you will receive if the person is friend to you. And if the person is unknown, you will not even open the door. You may talk through the door only. Okay, if it is a net door. So that is just one example. So in the same way, in cell also, in animal cell or plant cell, these are also having this membrane. Okay, you can see the cell membrane. Now this cell membrane is present in animal cell also, and it is present in plant cell also. You can see the inside. But in plant, there is one special character or special thing. What is it? That is cell wall. It is like a rigid wall. Okay. So this rigid wall is present only in plant. So this is the main characteristic of the plant. That all the plant cell will have cell wall, and all the plant cell will have chloroplast, because chloroplast is helpful for photosynthesis. Okay, and why cell wall is there? Because you know that plants cannot move, so they have to be, their body have to be hard so that it can bear all the, you know, wind or storm or water, rain, everything. It can just withhold, it can just sustain that. Okay, So that is why cell wall is giving it rigidity. Okay, so that is why cell wall is present in a plant cell. And there is one vacuole you can see in the big, there is a big vacuole. Vacuole also actually gives the you can say the shape to the plant, because and it can release some pressure also from outside, because you know that plant cells, these are not moving, so they have to be giving some uh, cushion kind of things to if any harm or any damage occur to the plant from outside, so it is like cushion. Other, if there will be no vacuole or smaller vacuole, so what will happen? Whenever they will be pushed from the outside, the pressure will increase inside and it can damage the inner part, isn't it? So to prevent the inner part from damage, what happens? Plants are having big vacuole. So you can see now, I'm going to again show you what are the important characteristics. Important characteristics of the plant cell are: first is the cell wall, second is the vacuole, third is the chloroplast. Okay, so these are the special characteristics. Now you can see something bigger, and this is in center, and in plant you can see it is at the side or corner, or we call it periphery. Periphery means at the side. Okay, so now you can see what is this? This is nucleus. Now what is nucleus? Nucleus is basically brain of the cell, which is having all the control. Why brain? Because as our brain controls our body, in the same way this nucleus is going to control the body of plant or animal. Clear? Now, because this brain is controlling everything, so nucleus is the important part. And when this cell will reproduce, or this will eat something, or this will excrete something, or anything is happening in the cell, it will be controlled through nucleus. Clear? So now we are moving further. So now you can see some microorganisms, some organisms microscopic, contains only one cell. So we call them single cellular animals, while other plants and animals contain many cells of different kinds. So we can call them multicellular animals. Okay, I will tell you in detail later. So now parts of a cell: nucleus. Every cell has a nucleus present in the center. Okay, so nucleus, where it is nucleus, is located in center, uh, that performs various functions of the cell. In plant, you can see it is in periphery, okay, and in animal it is in center. It is called the brain of the cell, as it contains the genetic material. Okay, all the information which they have to pass to their babies. So baby animal or baby plant or baby microorganism. So whatever they are passing to their baby or progeny. Progeny means next generation. Okay, so whatever they are passing to their next generation, all the genetic material is present inside the nucleus. Clear? It is present inside the nucleus. Now you can see, if I am saying cell membrane I have discussed already. Every cell has an outer boundary. It is like safe for protection, for safety, okay, of the cell. We call it cell membrane. Cytoplasm. What is the meaning of cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is actually the cell, every cell which is having a gel-like a structure present in it, it is called cytoplasm. So why there is gel-like a structure required? Because in this gel-like a structure, everything is embedded. For example, if you have seen your you eat your jelly, okay, so in jelly also there are small something is inside, is sprinkled inside. So in the same way, there is a jelly like a structure inside every cell, which is helping things to move, which is helping organisms to move. Understood? So this jelly like a structure is called cytoplasm. Okay, now we are going to see the next slide. So okay, so now we are going to study in little bit detail, but you should just see this, what are these things, and you don't need to like go into much detail, but you should know, you should be familiar with the words. That is why this picture is given here. So now you can see it is the structure of much more detailed structure of a cell. Okay. Now in this structure, what is there? There is nucleus at the center. You can see here. Okay, you can see it here. Then a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. You will study later on. Lysosomes are there. Cytoplasm is there. Cell membrane, outer membrane. Mitochondria is there. Okay, and then this is a powerhouse of the cell, mitochondria. Like, you also having a powerhouse in the city, okay, from where you get all the electricity supply. In the same way, it is a mitochondria is providing, you can say, not the electricity but power or energy to cells. So that is why we call them powerhouse. Okay, then rough endoplasmic reticulum, then ribosomes are there, Golgi bodies are there, and vacuoles are there. So you can see, you can identify which type of cell is this. This is an animal cell. How can you say this is animal cell? Because of two reasons. First, vacuole is very small in size, and second, there is no cell wall. Cell wall is not here. It is absent. So it is, and you can see nucleus is in center. So these are the two three things, and chloroplast is also absent. So which kind of cell is this? This is an animal cell. Chloroplast is not present. Okay. Now we are going to study about cell organelles. So these are the membrane bound structure found within a cell in the cytoplasm. So it is like in your building you are having a small rooms. In the same way, inside a cell, these are having a small cell organelles. So these are membrane bound, means every room is having its door. Same way, every organelle is having a membrane bound structure. Okay, so the cell organelles have special function associated with them, and different cell organelles found in the cells are mitochondria produces energy for the cell, endoplasmic reticulum, it produces lipids and proteins in the cell, Golgi apparatus, it has an exporting out of the cell, which is like transport, you can say transport department of the cell. And lysosomes, these help in digestion in the cell. So they eat up whatever is there. Okay, so now we are going to see the next slide. So now I hope you understood about the structure of cell and then the parts of the cell. Now we are going to talk about single cell cellular organism and multicellular organism. So organism, as I told you, you know that you have seen also that so many types of things or varieties are present. I have told you about curd. That curd is having which bacteria? Which bacteria are there? Lactobacillus. Okay. So lactobacillus bacteria are present in curd. Okay. Which help milk to set into curd. So these are the smaller bacteria. You can see the shape. This is amoeba, paramecium. All these organisms are very small. They have only a single cell. And that is why these are called unicellular organisms. Uni, whenever there is this term uni is written, it means one. Okay, that means it is talking about one. So unicellular. Okay, unicellular, one single cell organism. Now multicellular, as name is suggesting, multi means many. So there are many cells present in these organisms. These are containing many cells like plants, animals. Okay, so you need not to tell it about this because it is very well understood. Now organisms that are made up of just one cell are called single cell or unicellular organisms. For example, amoeba. Amoeba is the most simple example. And amoeba is not having any shape. It can take shape of anything. Like it can change its shape. It can sometimes make shape like this. Okay. Now, organisms with more than one cell in their body are called multicellular organisms. And all human beings, plants, and animals are multicellular organisms. So I hope you understood this part. Now we are going to study the next slide, and it is about that can photosynthesis take place in other parts of the plant. As you know, we have studied about photosynthesis, okay, earlier. Now we are going to be into some detail, but before going into the detail of photosynthesis, I would like to ask you, you know, that green plants or green stems, every stem or every, you can say, the any kind of plant, whenever we are talking about the plants, we know that it is having so many parts also. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the parts, that means we are saying about green stems also, or branches, okay, or leaves, anything. So can photosynthesis take place in other part also? Like we know about the only the leaves, but you might be surprised to know that green stems and branches of the plant, they can also undergo the process of photosynthesis. Okay, for example, plants in the desert area like cactus, these are modified because these are not having leaves, but they still exist there because of their stem, and the stem produces the food for the plant. This stem is having what? Chloroplast or chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll, which is containing chloroplast. Okay, so it is present in these stem, and these stems are modified, and that is why they can take part in photosynthesis. Okay, now why it is so important, why photosynthesis is so important? So we have discussed earlier also that there will be no food if the plant would stop conducting the photosynthesis process. So the plants take in carbon dioxide and produce oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Hence, without this process, it would not be possible to survive on Earth, as there would be no oxygen in absence of the plant, isn't it? So now we are going to see the next slide, how these plants are going to produce oxygen and carbohydrate. Now, as you can see in this picture, there is a plant, and it is what it is doing. It is taking up carbon dioxide, plus it is taking up water from the roots, through roots, in presence of light energy. We can show light through this symbol like this. Okay. Now, in presence of light energy and chlorophyll, very important part, chlorophyll, I will tell you in detail. What happens? It converts this carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrate and then oxygen. Okay. Now, this you can show it as this equation. CO2 plus H2O is water. CO2 is your carbon dioxide. H2O is water. And for carbohydrate, there is formula C6H12O6. It is a simple sugar. Okay, simple sugar, which we can say it is a carbohydrate, and this is the formula of simple sugar C6H12O6. So you can learn it, and you can draw it also in your notebooks, and plus oxygen gas will be released here. Now you know that 6 is written here. This is to balance this equation. Okay, because you know that I have told you earlier also that here the C is actually carbon, isn't it? This H is actually hydrogen, and this O is actually oxygen. So in this case, all these things, number of these elements should be equal, okay, balanced on both side of the equation. You know, this arrow is showing that this is an equation. Okay, so these are the things which were given to you. For example, you cook something, so some ingredient is given to you, you call it a reactant, or you can call it, because reaction is taking place here, so you can call it reactant. And after reaction, what is happening, what is forming? Product is forming. Okay, so this uh, glucose and the oxygen, both the things are the products. Okay, so as much of reactant we are using, same amount of product would be produced. So that is why, because 6 carbons are being produced here, so here also we have to take 6 carbon oxide molecules, and then 6 H2O molecules we have to take. Okay, because you know that 12 hydrogen are there, so 6 into 2 will be 12. Okay, 6 times H2O we are taking, that means 6 into 2, 12 hydrogen plus 6 into 1 time of oxygen. So there will be 6 oxygen. So, and this 6 oxygen from here, it will go to this side. So in this way, this reaction will be balanced. So you have to write these reactions also, you have to learn it. These are very simple to learn. Now, plants use carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight, as we have discussed already, and chlorophyll is used to produce carbohydrate and oxygen. So sunlight and chlorophyll are the two important components. Okay. Now carbohydrates, you know what are the carbohydrates? These are the same thing which have studied in nutrients. Okay, what kind of nutrients are there? So you have already studied it. So these are produced by plants are converted into starch. Why? Because simple sugar can be eaten up very fast. Okay, so to store it, they have to convert it into complex structure, into complex structure, so that it cannot be converted easily into energy. Okay, so this complex structure is starch. Okay, what is this? Starch. So in the form of a starch, everything is stored, or the food is stored basically in the plant. Clear? I hope you have understood the point till here. Now we are going to study in detail what is the structure of chloroplast. As you have seen in your last pictures, when we are showing a plant cell, inside a plant cell you have seen that there are green pigment structure. Okay, what were these? These were chloroplast. Now inside the chloroplast, how does it look? Okay, now you have to see this. So what are these? These are type of organelle, because these are also a part of the cell. So these are organelle that exist in plant, and as I told you that there will be membrane also. You can see here there is one inner membrane and one outer membrane in chloroplast. Clear? So there are two types of membranes to protect it further. Okay. Now they are called food producers of the plant cells. So food factory. What was food factory? We have studied earlier. Food factory was your leaf of a plant. And food producers are, what are the food producers? Food producers are the chloroplast of the plant. Okay. Now see, these organelles, these are containing chlorophyll, which is a green colored pigment. Okay. Now how this chlorophyll is responsible? It is responsible for carrying out the process of photosynthesis in the plants. Now, you know that chloroplasts are surrounded by two membranes called inner and outer membrane. And then inner membrane, what it is surrounding? It is surrounding stroma and thylakoid. Stroma is basically this space, you can say this gel-like a structure, this is uh, a fluid-like a structure which is inside this. Okay, we call it stroma. And what are thylakoid? Thylakoid, you can imagine like you are stacking some coins. Okay, one above another. So these are stock of a structure like coins, and we call them thylakoid. And when we are combining so many thylakoids together, what we call them? We call them granum. Okay. And what are lamella? Lamella are connecting the thylakoid. So granum. Clear? So these are called lamella. Now I hope you understood the structure of chloroplast very well. Now you know in chloroplast there are many processes taking places which you will study in your higher classes. Okay. Now, so we are moving to the next slide where we are going to study that how these chloroplasts are, this structure is there. So the chlorophyll molecules, now you can see the chlorophyll molecules which is present. Okay. So these chlorophyll molecules are present on each of the thylakoid. So basically inside the chloroplast, chlorophyll molecules are attached or inside this thylakoid. Clear? Now the chloroplast, what happens? It converts the sunlight into sugars and that are used by the plant cell. So chloroplasts allow the conduction of the process of photosynthesis. If chloroplast will not be there, there won't be any conduction. If it is not there, so conduction of photosynthesis will also not occur. So the chlorophyll that can absorb the sunlight. Okay, because chlorophyll, where it is present? It is present in thylakoids. Okay, so it is absorbing the sunlight which is present inside the chloroplast. Now, when the light of the sun hits the chloroplast and the chlorophyll, the light energy is converted into chemical energy. Okay, which energy it is converting into? Chemical energy. And this energy is found in compounds like ATP and NADPH. So for ATP we call, what we call to ATP, I have told you in class 6 also, ATP is your energy currency. Okay, that means you, as many as ATP you will have, you can spend them to get the energy. Understood? So you will study in detail about ATP. What is the full form of ATP? If I'll tell you the full form, it is, I have told you earlier also, but again I'm telling you, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, so these are kind of energy currency, or like you buy things with the help of money, rupees, notes of like, or any currency in whatever country you are living. So same kind of inner currency you use. Okay, so here in your body what is happening, or in plant, because we are talking about plants only. So in plant also and in animal body also, everywhere this ATP is being used as energy currency. Okay, and this NADPH, so I'm not telling the full form right now, it is not required, you can just learn the terms. Now then these energy molecules move into the stroma, as I told you, it is like cytoplasm of chloroplast, and where carbon dioxide is attached to them. So inside that jelly-like structure in cytoplasm, what happens? CO2 comes in that cytoplasm and it attaches to these energy molecules. And as a result of the molecular reaction, so here also again a reaction is taking place. Like you have studied in like chemical changes, there will be a reaction. In the same way, there is also a reaction taking place, and then what happens? This oxygen and glucose, which are the product of this reaction, of this photosynthesis, these are produced or created here. Okay, so I hope you understood this point, and you know now very well that what are the energy currency, what are the, how, what is the structure of chlorophyll, chloroplast, and how these reactions are taking place inside the chloroplast. Now see, you must have seen many times around you that there are so many plants which are having different colored leaves, isn't it? For example, you can see in this picture, there are two different plants you can see, and in these plants you can see that their leaves are not in proper green color. So what do you think? If these are not in green color, can they conduct photosynthesis? Yes, still they can conduct. Okay, you might be surprised, but yes, still they can conduct. Why? Because these are also having the chloroplast. Okay, or these are also having chlorophyll which is present inside them, but because the pigment, okay, the pigment which is uh, present here is more than the green color pigment. So this red color pigment, you can call them chromoplast. Okay, instead of chloroplast you can call them chromoplast, or any other colored uh, pigment is present there. So if it is more in number, this red colored pigment is more in number, so what will happen? The green color will hide behind it, and because it is hiding, so it will not be visible. And which color will reflect more? It will be your the red pigment. Okay, but still we should know that these are also having chloroplast, chlorophyll, and that is why they are able to do photosynthesis or conduct photosynthesis. Yeah. Now next, so algae also contain chlorophyll. Have you seen algae? What is algae? Algae are nothing but the, we must have seen that some kind of this, if the water is stagnant like in pond. Okay, if it is, the water is stopped. Okay, water is stagnant. Stagnant means it is stopped for a long period. Okay, So what will happen? You can see that green colored, that Chi-like structure, that gets developed. So this green colored structure, this is called algae. Okay, and this algae, because it is green, it is also containing chlorophyll. And this green colored organism, it is found in a stagnant water. They get green color from the chlorophyll only, and since they have chlorophyll, so they are also capable of conducting photosynthesis. So I hope you understood the part till now, and rest of the part I'm going to make in a next video, which will be the part 3 video of the same chapter. And I hope you understood. If you are having any query, you can write in comment section or you can ask me. So I hope you will be able to understand and your concept will be more clear. Thank you.